Hello everyone and welcome to the long-awaited series between GENG and T1. We're going to see an interesting match today, and while it is first against 7th, it is certainly a match that is heavily contested between the two. They are 12 and 12 in recent times, and well, GENG managed to win the last face-off against T1 with a 3-0 in the LCK spring playoffs. Will they be able to work with that? Have the dominating mindset that led to them succeeding well in summer with a 7-1 run so far, very strong. Yes, they did lose 2-0 against Downward Kia. So they're on a bit of a downswing. T1 though, on the same side, are also very much struggling. 4-4 with a match score, obviously quite terrible for their standards. Very important though for this matchup today, T1 has done their first roster swap this summer. Something that was very common in the spring split. They've swapped out General Teddy for Gumayushi. So Gumayushi and Teddy obviously top of the pop AD carries on a global level. And Gumayushi, I think he's rank 1, and he has another account in the top 10 as well. So if you're following his op.g or streams, you surely know that this guy knows what he is doing. So let's see, and let's take a look at the bans here in this first draft. And how will Gumayushi being there warp the priority for a few champions? We see T1 strangely for themselves banning the Kalista and the Ezreal, two champions that are often banned against them, or more so banned against Teddy. Now T1 banning them on the blue side, very strange, and we're not really expecting that too much. Same with the Akali, a champion very powerful at the moment. Just yesterday, Chovy completely demolished the scene with this pick, getting a pentakill even. So these very powerful S tier champions, or regarded S tier champions, are being banned by T1 on the blue side. On the red side, GENG elected red side for themselves, Xin Zhao, Nocturne and the Thresh. So Thresh being banned is fine against Carrier and Gumayushi. It's a bit of a preemptive safety measure. Nocturne and Xin Zhao not really a champion T1 really likes too much. But the Nocturne obviously a pick that FAKER has shown great performances at, so that's fine. So the bans are over, and as you see, we're right in the picks. Ziggs is the one that T1 is electing first. Sorry, but that's just terrible. Not because Ziggs is a bad champion. Sorry, that's completely not true. Ziggs is a very strong champion, but so far, can we say that Ziggs is a very contested pick? Not really sure about that. Other champions like the Gwen, like the Viego, are more contested international, and have seen quite a good amount of performance. Yes, we saw some Ziggs games here and there international, I think in China, but I don't think that's the first pick worthy champion, even though it is obviously flexible between the top mid lane and the bot lane position. But it is very strange to see Gumayushi, a top AD carry player, come in and then elect Ziggs for him. On the other side, Viego and Lee Sin being elected, obviously good flex pick potential between top, jungle and mid, between the two, and locking in the LeBlanc, which is, a champion that has seen a bit of a comeback internationally, as mentioned in China, being picked quite a lot. It is something, of a gauntlet throw, maybe a challenge here for FAKER from BDD. Obviously FAKER very much known to be probably the best LeBlanc player there ever was. That's a challenge to him. And T1 also electing alongside the Ziggs, the Jayce and the Leona. So Leona, very safe and standard bot lane support here. That obviously benefits quite a lot from an AD carry that can care for themselves. So something like the Ziggs, who come a few levels, is very safe down there, and can wave clear on its own, enables carriers Leona then to roam around the map, top lane, mid lane, jungle, wherever, and impact the global state of the game. So that's the strategy with that, and Leona is one of the champions that does that very, very well, that can really impact these fights very strongly. Yes, Alistars can do this as well, but I feel Leona has a certain edge in that department. Also giving more laning strength to the Ziggs in case that Genji is electing a very aggressive and powerful bot lane that can threaten their game plan here. And the Jayce against Viego Lee Sin, LeBlanc not, but against Viego Lee Sin, not really a fan, but I think it's something that Canna is super comfortable on. So yeah, going with comfort if you're 4-4 might be a decent way to go. T1 here banning out Kai'Sa and the Tristana, very, very much like that. Very, very strong and very smart from them, because the Ziggs, as I mentioned, is an AD carry, is a bot laner that really wants to push and have the wave clear advantage there and poke, and then maybe with the Leona be also save their independent, secure roam timings, right? Very, very aggressive AD carries like the Kai'Sa and the Tristana, who are dive champions in a sense, would obviously really interrupt that game plan and would make the Ziggs more vulnerable. So banning that out is quite good. On the other side, Genji banning away some AP setup champions from FAKER with the Lissandra and the Ryze. Both champions FAKER can play to a top level, but we haven't seen both of them for a long while. Yes, it is a new patch and AP items got touched a bit. Still not really sure about that. Then we see here the Varus pick come in. Let me pause for a sec here. We see the Varus pick come in, obviously on the red side. Very, very impactful and very potent. Against the Ziggs though, not really sure what we can expect. Obviously the Varus lane power is there, but his wave clear, well, he doesn't really have too many AoE abilities that can match Ziggs, but Ziggs is a bit unmatchable in that department in the first place. Varus might be able to hold out and might be able to contest with the range. And then we see the Volibear and the Twisted Fate come in for Cass and FAKER. So Twisted Fate with the Ziggs, they're not really friends, especially if you have Volibear and Leona as well. So Merc threats are really intensified, and that's really going to hurt, because if you really as an AP champion want to stack up damage, then you really need a lot of AP, and that means a lot of items, because AP items still don't give a lot of AP. So then you needing to buy void stuff and so on really can stifle your build and really can get you on a lower AP value in the end, even to just deal a certain amount of damage in the context. So not really a great fan if you go for Ziggs bot lane to then have AP mid and then so much CC and AP with bot laner, with support and mid jungle as well. Not really a fan, because Jayce here, I'm not really sure if he's as the sole AD carry really set up to succeed, right? If we compare AD to AP at the current game state, AD just wins out by a lot. So focusing on AP so heavily with your entire team might not be the best call. Yes, it amplifies the strength of an AD champion even more, but four of your teammates will suffer for it. So we have to see if T1 can really snowball in terms of gold and secure an item advantage to make their AP heavy comp a bit better than it might be if we're having an even game. And Galio here is, by the way, the last pick for live. So in the end, let's see it swap out. Obviously, there is a chance for some shenanigans on both sides, but Viego Lee Sin still can swap. But I think Viego's top lane is way stronger than Viego jungle, simply because as a carry and split push champion, getting lane XP and lane gold is just way better than what junglers get. And well, we saw that with Jax a couple years ago. Jax jungle, yes, works, it's not bad, but Jax top lane just better for the champion in general. So talking about the top lane matchup, Viego versus Jayce, we have seen that go in both ways. So we're going to focus on the jungle attention here that both teams might lead up to there. T1 has elected the Volibear champion that is really prone to ganking and has some setup with stun and decent early damage, diving abilities. So diving a Viego is not really the coolest thing, but it's certainly doable. Especially with these two champions that do have a lot of damage, especially early on. On the other side, GENG has elected Lee Sin, a champion that he has Sin in his name. So he's going to gank galore. But he's probably not going to gank the top lane. Might be looking to counter gank there from time to time, but his lane is the mid lane. With the LeBlanc there as a setup champion and against an immobile Twisted Fate, he will be right in there. Klit knows how Faker plays. Well, at least he knows his preferences, so we can expect him to be there quite a lot. In the bot lane, already talked about this. Gumayushi and Carrier have a bit of an advantage here in terms of wave clear, but on the other side, the GENG bot lane also has a high damage profile, especially in the early levels. So they have the power to contest the wave, at least for a while. After a few levels and after a few items, Ziggs will just one-shot the wave and Varus can't really match that. Then we can see Carrier roam up the river and to influence the very volatile mid lane matchup. I mean, it's a LeBlanc versus Twisted Fate. It's very strange that Faker elected for this. It's also very confident. I mean, GENG BDD comes with the disrespect locking in the blind LeBlanc against Faker, and Faker's like, yeah, do what you want, man, do what you want. I'm going to send you straight to the Shadowrealm for this arrogant move. So yeah, that will be super interesting to see how that matchup goes. Already we see the laning phase here in the background. I'm not really sure if I can show it, so you have to check that out for yourself later. But on the GENG side, maybe they know that they can't contest bot lane push later on, but they say that's fine. We have a Galio. Yes, he won't get the best timings, unlike the Leona, but with his ult he can cheat a bit. So should mid lane be any volatile or any action that he needs to be there, his ultimate will always be there. And well, easier said than done, of course, but the 3v3 support jungler mid laner from GENG against T1 is obviously very strong, especially early on. High base damage, very strong kits without ultimates. So yeah, GENG, they certainly have a comp that is very straightforward, has a good game plan, they know what they're going to do, and I feel their game plan is a bit easier to execute in terms of a macro level. Their champions, right, LeBlanc and Lee Sin, prone to have some errors in their gameplay from time to time, but from the first place team, I think we can expect them to play these champions the correct way. Here we already see GENG BDD blow the flash of a Faker with Lee Sin being there. That's just how this goes. There's nothing really Faker can do there. A chain from melee range, well, it is what it is. Anyway, we're going to see each other again in video number 2 of this series, and yeah, maybe we see some adaptation in the draft after this one, where I have to say again, I think GENG got a quite comfortable advantage here from the draft. Yes, teamfight stages might not be too great, but I think with their comp there, they should be able to snowball that quite heavily. So, see each other till then. Check out everything else in the socials down below in the description. And yeah, hit me up with any nice comments or bad comments you want to say to my face. So, see you.